On a hot summer day in August 1983, a fisherman casting his line along the murky waters of the Missouri River stumbled upon something that would haunt Jackson County for decades. Caught in a tangle of driftwood on a lonely sandbar near the south bank of the river, partially buried beneath the shifting sands, were skeletal remains weathered by time, stripped of identity, and shrouded in mystery. The body, clad only in a red shirt and a pair of checkered pants, offered no name, no ID, no personal belongings, just bones and silence. It was as though she had been erased. The remains were carefully recovered and taken to the Jackson County Medical Examiner's office. Forensic investigators determined the victim was a woman and estimated that she had been dead for nearly a year. But who she was, how she died, and why she ended up discarded in such an isolated stretch of riverbank, all of it remained a frustrating enigma. Without leads, without fingerprints, and with no missing persons report that matched, the woman was dubbed Jackson County Jane Doe. Her case went cold. For over 4 decades, her name sat in files unspoken. But in 2024, everything changed. In a last-ditch effort to bring her story to light, the Jackson County Medical Examiner's Office partnered with Othram, a forensic lab known for using cutting-edge DNA technology to solve the unsolvable. Scientists at Othram's lab in the Woodlands, Texas, painstakingly extracted DNA from degraded forensic material, an incredibly difficult process given the time that had passed. Using forensic-grade genome sequencing, they built a comprehensive DNA profile for the unknown woman. Then came the breakthrough. Othram's in-house forensic genetic genealogy team took that profile and began digging, not through crime scenes, but through family trees. They combed through genealogical databases, searching for distant relatives, faint genetic echoes of a life once lived. Eventually, they found one. Through kin-SNP rapid relationship testing, investigators confirmed a match between the unknown woman and a living relative. After 41 years of anonymity, Jackson County Jane Doe was finally given her name back, Thelma Hill. Born on February 18, 1927, in Toronto, Canada, Thelma had once been a wife to William Hill and a mother to 3 children. Somehow, somewhere along the line, her life took a tragic turn that ended in the quiet current of the Missouri River. How she died remains a mystery, but now at least she is no longer lost. The identification of Thelma Hill marks the 19th case in the state of Missouri to be solved through the groundbreaking work of Othram's forensic technology. And though it took decades, Thelma's story proves that the dead do not always stay silent, and that sometimes, even after a lifetime, the truth still finds its way home. On the morning of May 15, 1985, the quiet of Salt Lake City was shattered by a discovery so horrific it would haunt investigators for decades. Christine Gallegos, a young woman full of life and promise, was found brutally murdered. The scene painted a picture of unspeakable violence. She had been beaten, sexually assaulted, shot, and stabbed, a level of savagery that left even seasoned detectives shaken. The case sparked an immediate and urgent manhunt. Detectives chased every lead, questioned dozens of individuals, and combed through evidence day and night. But despite their relentless efforts, the investigation hit a wall. There was no suspect, no motive they could lock down, only silence. Time passed, and Christine's case eventually joined the growing list of cold cases, unsolved but never forgotten. Years turned into decades, yet Christine's family never gave up hope. Neither did the detectives who had once promised them answers. As forensic science advanced, investigators revisited the case again and again, waiting for the day when the technology might finally catch up to the truth. That day came in September 2023. Determined to use every tool available, the Utah Department of Public Safety submitted forensic evidence to Othram, a Texas-based laboratory known for turning the impossible into solvable. Scientists at Othram's facility in the Woodlands extracted DNA from the decades-old evidence, no small feat after nearly 40 years. They then used forensic-grade genome sequencing to build a detailed DNA profile of the unidentified suspect. But that was just the beginning. Othram's forensic genetic genealogy team took that DNA profile and began a complex genealogical search. Through painstaking research, they traced family trees, analyzed ancestral links, and zeroed in on potential relatives. And then they found him. To confirm the lead, Othram used its kin-SNP rapid relationship testing, comparing the suspect's DNA to samples from possible family members. The test delivered the result that investigators had been waiting on for nearly 4 decades: a match. The man responsible for Christine Gallegos' brutal death was identified as Ricky Lee Stallworth Sr., born November 2, 1957. At the time of the murder, Stallworth had been an airman stationed at Hill Air Force Base, close enough to have crossed paths with Christine, though no one could have imagined the horror he would inflict. But justice would not be served in a courtroom. Ricky Lee Stallworth Sr. died of natural causes in 2023, just months before he was unmasked. Though he will never face trial, the identification of Christine's killer brings a sense of long-overdue closure to her grieving family and a community that has waited 38 years for the truth. Her story is no longer a cold case. It's a testament to perseverance, science, and the unrelenting pursuit of justice. The resolution of the Christine Gallegos case stands as a powerful achievement made possible by the combined efforts of the Salt Lake City Police Department, the Utah Department of Public Safety, and the pioneering forensic experts at Othram. In the end, Christine's voice, lost for so long, was finally heard. In the quiet suburb of Apopka, just north of Orlando, Florida, a man lived what seemed to be a modest, unremarkable life. He was known to neighbors and friends as Stephen A. Mason, a quiet, middle-aged man with piercing blue eyes, short graying hair, and a collection of eye-catching tattoos. On one forearm, a Yosemite Sam blazed with cartoonish fury. On the other, the Tasmanian Devil spun into chaos. Just above his left wrist, a tattoo of a heart, pierced by an arrow, faded with time, hinted at a love story, or perhaps a lost one. He had 2 piercings in his left earlobe, none in his right. Then, in 2006, everything changed. Stephen A. Mason was found dead in his home, a death ruled natural, quiet, and unassuming. His wife identified his body. Fingerprints confirmed the name on his records. The paperwork was clean, but the truth was anything but. As authorities began handling post-mortem affairs, a shocking discovery unraveled. Stephen A. Mason never existed, at least not in any verifiable form. His social security number didn't check out. There were no birth records, no childhood photos, no trace of his life before the 1990s. Whoever he was, he had been living a lie for over a decade, a ghost hiding in plain sight. With no real name, no known relatives, and no clues beyond his ink and appearance, investigators were left chasing shadows. They turned to the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, NamUs, where his case was logged as UP9397, yet another nameless man with a past buried deeper than his grave. For nearly 18 years, no one could say who he really was. But in 2024, that silence was finally broken. Desperate for answers, the Orange County Sheriff's Office partnered with Othram, the cutting-edge forensic DNA lab in the Woodlands, Texas. Othram scientists meticulously extracted DNA from preserved forensic evidence and performed forensic-grade genome sequencing, building a detailed profile of the man who once called himself Stephen A. Mason. The results opened new doors. Othram's forensic genetic genealogy team used the DNA to dig deep into family trees, searching through the tangled web of distant relatives and long-lost connections. Their research generated promising leads. Investigators followed up, tracking down potential relatives and requesting DNA reference samples. One relative agreed. Using kin-SNP rapid relationship testing, Othram confirmed the truth. The man with the tattoos, the lies, and the double-pierced ear was David D'Intinosanto, born on September 12, 1958. David had roots in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, but his trail had gone cold years earlier. He was estranged from family and had a known history of using fake identities, retreating further and further into anonymity. No one knew why he vanished, only that he had, and that he had kept the truth hidden until the very end. Now at last, he had a name, a past, a story. The identification of David D'Intinosanto marks the 41st successful case in Florida where an individual was publicly identified using Othram's groundbreaking forensic technology. Though David took his secrets to the grave, science and persistence ensured he wouldn't remain a mystery forever. In the end, even a man determined to disappear couldn't outrun the truth. If you found these stories as haunting and fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps more people discover the hidden truths behind cold cases like this one. Subscribe to Criminologist for more real-life mysteries, solved and unsolved, brought back to life with the power of forensic science and investigative storytelling. And tap the notification bell so you never miss an update, because in the world of true crime, every detail counts. Got theories or thoughts about this case? Drop them in the comments. We read everything. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.